You're listening to A Radio.
I want to read to you two pieces. I've sent these links to a friend of mine at Cold War Radio already. Now, unlike the Democrats, I like to be fair, so there's no way to actually confirm their content. But if what I'm about to read to you is correct, and I think it is, then America is in fact in the process, in my opinion, of a political coup.
We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to A Radio, and this is the Morning Moment. We're on weekdays, 11:45 Eastern. Follow us on Spreaker.com and click on the like button. I want to read to you two pieces. I've sent these links to a friend of mine at Cold War Radio already, and they may or may not discuss it. They are both from a website called Creative Destruction Media. Now, unlike the Democrats, I like to be fair, so there's no way to actually confirm their content. But if what I'm about to read to you is correct, and I think it is, then America is in fact in the process, in my opinion, of a political coup. Because if these people can reach and have this amount of pull to cover this up, these misdoings of a current presidential candidate, there's no telling what they won't do to win. And if that doesn't scare you, then I guess nothing ever will. But until it actually happens, and then of course it'll be too late. What we are witnessing in the United States is a political coup attempt unfolding before our very eyes, aided and abetted by the number one culprit in political mischief in the world, that of George Soros. His name pops up every single time in every single country. But his name shall not be uttered. But here it is, in this piece that I'm going to read out to you. Again and again and again, his name pops up. But no one ever does anything about this guy. Be afraid for your future. Be very afraid. Because if they win now, then there is nothing they will not do. Nothing. If they can overturn a duly elected president, then nothing is beyond their grasp. So if they can do all this, perhaps they can convince you not to vote. Maybe that's what this is all about, to convince you, the voter, that you don't matter. In which case they've already succeeded in smaller countries like Canada. But the US is the prize. If they can scare you not to vote, or just not to vote at all, they will have won. Here's those pieces. The first one is dated December 3. The title is Ukrainian Oligarch Heading to the US to Testify on Biden Corruption, Arrested by Soros-Controlled NABU in Germany. Ukrainian oligarch, I can't pronounce his name, Olishenko I think his name is, was arrested in Germany on November 29 as he prepared to travel to the United States to testify regarding the Biden family corruption in Ukraine. Olishenko was detained per the request of the Ukrainian National Anti-Corruption Bureau, NABU, who our sources maintain is a Soros-controlled front for an in reality preventing investigations of deep state corruption in the former Soviet Republic. CD Media recently released a great deal of information via Onishenko, who provided never before published information on millions of dollars that ended up from Ukrainian gas company Burisma in the coffers of Biden-controlled companies. CD Media met with Onishenko recently in Germany. Artem Sintek, the head of NABU, is being investigated in Ukraine for colluding with the Democratic Party and the Hillary Clinton campaign in 2016. Audio tapes were recently released where Sintic is heard bragging about his cooperation with the Clinton campaign during the election. Sitnik's organisation released the infamous Black Ledger, which put in motion the effort to jail previous Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort. The Black Ledger is considered to be manufactured and not authentic. Onyshenko fled Ukraine in 2016 after corruption charges were filed against him via the former Ukrainian president Petro Poroshenko, after Onyshenko leaked audio tapes confirming that Poroshenko's own corruption. Onyshenko's informed CD Media he had been offered a deal to return to Ukraine, avoiding jail time if he would only admit his guilt. He refused this deal, he told CD Media recently in Germany. According to the head of the NABU, Artem Zintik, Onyshenko should have been extradited to Ukraine from Spain, where he was hiding from investigation. In December, Zintik noted that the ex-People's Deputy lost all lawsuits in Spain and there is a decision on his extradition to Ukraine. Wrote RBC Ukraine. Later, Onyshenko himself announced that he plans to return to Ukraine in December. As a confirmation, he provided a ticket from Ryanair flight on December 13 from Barcelona to Kiev. When he contacted Rudy Giuliani's office, provided the following quote from the mayor: "It strikes me as extremely suspicious." So that's one piece. And the next day, we get this. December 4, this is the title. Ukraine fires prosecutor investigating Burisma, and Hunter Biden transfers case to Soros-controlled NABU for closure. Ukraine has fired the prosecutor investigating the cases involving Hunter Biden and Burisma and has transferred responsibility to Soros-controlled National Anti-Corruption Bureau for disposal. This is the same NABU led by Artem Zintik, who was caught on tape bragging about helping Clinton campaign in its efforts to discredit Donald Trump during the 2016 election. Konstantin Kulik was fired from the General Prosecutor's office on November 22 due to corruption charges against him. Sources for CD Media described the firing as being political in nature, as a way to tidy up any loose ends regarding Biden and Burisma, to keep information from the public eye during the impeachment campaign in the United States. Can I just read that to you again, ladies and gentlemen? To keep the information from the public eye during the impeachment campaign in the United States. They describe Viktor Trebek, the new Deputy General Prosecutor, Deputy Prosecutor General Vitaly Kasko, and Sintek as being under the control of George Soros / deep state infrastructure in the country. Trebek was involved in the infamous Black Ledger in the Manafort affair, which is considered now to be fake. So what Manafort was prosecuted for in the United States was a fake document. Can anybody see a pattern here? The article continues. The State Bureau of Investigation may be headed by Deputy Prosecutor Viktor Trebek, it was reported by the Ukrainian Truth, with reference to sources reported by Ukrainian news outlet GordonUA.com. Soros and the Democrats appointed their agents of influence to the General Prosecutor's Office, Kasko and Trebek. They put Sintek in NABU, Koldernisky in SAP, Special Prosecutor, in order to destroy the evidence of corruption of the Democrats in Ukraine and continue the process of the country's rape with impunity. They are corruption. If they put Trebek, the author of the Black Ledger, as the head of the State Bureau of Investigation, then the process of covering up their crimes will be completed, declared a confidential intelligence source in Ukraine. In an interview with the Ukrainian news outlet Babel, Kasko discusses the development of Kulik's firing. According to him, the National Bureau of Investigation will deal with almost all of the cases that Kulik conducted. All of the cases that Kulik was involved in are currently being inventoried in 99% of cases. NABU will deal with them. This is a good body to put an end to and clarify what actually happened in these matters. Well, that wasn't read particularly well, but you get the gist of it. There is some funny goings on over there at exactly the same time as President Trump is being investigated, to put it mildly. And it's nothing to do with him. It's all to do with the Democrats and the Democrat Party and Biden and Clinton and all of them, even to the extent of Paul Manafort. This goes right to the top and beyond. Even the judicial system in the United States has to be under suspicion. For all this to go on, people to be locked up, while others walk scot-free, such as Hillary Clinton, is quite unbelievable. I cannot understand how Americans aren't infuriated by this. At the very least, people should go to jail for this corruption and distortion of a duly elected President of the United States. If Americans let this stand, and they manage to boot Donald Trump out of office, I believe that the American population will rise up. I believe there will be a civil war in the United States. I honestly believe that. But nevertheless, this is so serious and you're not hearing any of this anywhere else. This should be investigated by the best investigators possible. Why is this not being talked about? If half of this is true, it's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you can find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Gab, Spotify, and email. We're on Spotify under the podcast section. Type in Canadian Politics with a twist and you'll find us. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass these links on to your friends. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all our morning moments at Spreaker.com/aradio. EHRADIO, a radio. And please click on the like button. Join us Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 11:45 Eastern, and tell your friends and pass the word. We only tell the truth, not what the mainstream media want you to know.